I'm not talking. I didn't turn this. What a terrible intro. This is literally the worst intro to a stream that I've ever had. Anyway, you couldn't hear me talking, but I was explaining. I made this intro. You saw it play like 1.5 times. What a mess. I did not have my poop in a group for the intro. But to be fair, this is my first YouTube stream after giving up on Twitch. I will now be on YouTube every stream, Monday and Tuesday, 6:30. So, like the title suggests, I'm going to finish this painting today. You may say, "Oh, it looks like it's done already," and it practically is. There are a few little things that need to change. So the first is I need to add some cast light here. I need to add a shadow to this. And then I need to, at the same time I'm casting the light from this, I'm going to make this subtly pink. You can't see it in the camera, but there is some pink here that's being cast. It's being blocked by the chair right here. And so there's a line of white there. And the rest of this is all white. So I'm going to extend this all the way up, and then I'm going to sign it. And then at that point, I just need to paint around the outsides, get it framed, and we're good to go. Hey, Pepper, you want some 5 minutes of fame? Say hi to YouTube. Say, whoa, Nougat, what a terrible intro. How did you let that happen? Anyway, I'll cut that out. No one will ever know. No one was here. We're good. Raquel says, it's beautiful. Flowers. Watch the microphone, Pepper. Well, thank you. Flowers were awful and slowly stole my sanity. And I'm very glad that those are done. So we got Pepper set up here on my chair. Sorry for the wobbliness in the camera. It's very hot. I thought this long sleeve shirt was going to be okay, but it is not. So, okay, I'm going to get started. I'm going to start with this pink. I'm going to mix that. So to do this, I'm essentially going to mix my two reds together. They're going to stay on the warm side. And then I'm just going to add some white. It's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to make a decent amount of it. I normally have a palette camera, but if you watched on Twitch yesterday, you know that XSplit deleted my entire screen. And so I have to work with the basics for now until probably this weekend, and I can put a little bit more time into it. My mic's doing weird things today. Just a mess. Just a mess all around. What's up, Janet? Never. I've never what? I'm already behind on chat. So I'm going to mix these. Keep it a middle red, slightly warm. You can't see any of it. So while I'm doing this, you can look at the detail camera. Essentially, most of the light is going to be cast here. There will be some on some of these other folds here. There will also be some faint kind of cut off by the arm, but above here on these wrinkles as well. And you can also see here, this is where the shadow will be cast by the other figure on the right. If you look here, the figure on the right, the light is coming essentially from the top right, kind of behind your shoulder as the viewer. And so this person is blocking the light. I don't know what's going on with the mic. It is not sitting right on my shirt. it's Tuesday. It is indeed Tuesday. You miss Pepper. Yeah, it's been a while since she's had her 5 minutes of fame. She used to she was constantly in here while I was streaming. And the past, I don't know, couple weeks, maybe even like month or two, she's had no interest whatsoever. But now she's just chilling on the chair. So, I got some white out, and now we're just going to add to this white. This is actually not even, maybe it's remotely close. We may actually need a bit more of, maybe a little more cool red in there. Just a little bit. I mean, this will be on a cool color, the cool blue of the dress, so that will pull it down a bit. I feel like that's pretty good. So we've got the pink. I need the towel. And we're going to get started on this. And I think the key here is I want it to be pretty clear that it's reflected, but it needs to be subtle, and I don't want to overdo it. And I think that's going to be pretty easy to get carried away with. I could have it reflecting off of everything. You know, I thought about having some here as well, and I just might. I'm going to take it kind of one step at a time, start close to the object and kind of work my way out and see when it starts to look weird. Hopefully she'll come again. I mean, she's right here. If she whines, she'll get 5 more minutes of fame. Too hot for her? Yeah, probably. She's hasn't been terrorizing the studio while I'm streaming. You want a dog? No, thank you. I am quite all right without one. Not that I don't like dogs, but they're a bit too much, in my opinion. All right, so just some things. If you do subscribe on YouTube, I have notifications set up. I made the switch from Twitch to YouTube, so now those are in place. If you like what you see, Jesus, I can't get rid of this thing. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe for more. And if you hit the bell, then it'll tell you when I'm live, just like Twitch. If you're here from Twitch and you want the same thing, same setup, then hit that bell. How is your dog? She's bad. I mean, I feel like dogs are just trouble, especially puppies. So, this brush, this is finally the last session for this brush. I've been using this the whole time. If we take a look at the detail camera, you can see this is meant to be like a fine, precision brush. And I'm twisting it a little bit, and you can see that it's practically like this rather than like this. It's terrible. So it's finally going to get retired at the end of today. Like kids? Yeah, exactly. All right, so did not open my... I'm completely unprepared for this stream. Completely. All right, so I got some medium. I'm going to get some pink on here. I'm going to make it super thin. The mixture is thin. I am going to end up with a thin actual layer as well, but we want the mixture to be a more medium than usual. You killed your brush. I mean, yeah, it just kind of happens. I don't care how good you are at cleaning your brushes. after 50 hours of using the same brush, cleaning it over and over, it's gonna just turn to shit. It's just gonna happen. But I'm too stubborn to change, and I have this weird thing where I want to use one brush for the whole painting, and I kind of did. I did use a few others in certain areas where it was just completely unrealistic to use uh, to use a small brush like this. So just gonna put a little right there. I'm gonna get my finger involved, and we're just gonna make it thin, give it a blurred edge, and there we are. And that looks pretty natural. So I guess I could probably show what I'm doing. You can see here on this little ripple of the dress, we added some of that on that smaller one as well. She thought someone was coming for dinner, tore around barking for half an hour. Yeah, no thank you on dogs. All right, so next we're going to go over here. So we're going to have some here on that ripple. Blur that a little bit. That seems to be a bit too much. And also not quite. So this one we don't want in the middle. That's what's looking a bit awkward here. I want this to be over there. Go. And here. Go. Trail up into there, but not actually. Not, we don't want it very defined up there. We want it to kind of fade out as it goes back in space. And if we keep the brush strokes slightly visible here, we'll be suggesting some ripples, some super subtle ripples in the fabric. So, question is, does this look natural? Excuse me. And the answer is, I'm not quite sure. It's so subtle that it almost looks like it's not light, but it's just the local color of the dress. I think maybe this one needs to go. Let's see what this looks like over here. We do something similar. Okay, that looks all right. You can't see that, but essentially I put a thin pink line along the left there. Let me back this up so you can see the whole thing. So this I'm not really sold on. Maybe I just need to extend it further out. Oh, geez. My tripod is on its own cable. There we go. Extend it out here. See if that makes a difference. It's not really translating as pink. So maybe what I need to do is not have so much white. So I'm going to make a mixture of the original color and the lighter version. We're going to have just like pure hue. Poor thing. I mean, if you say so. All right, so now we're going to see how this looks. I think it's working pretty well here, so I'm not going to really touch it. You can't see it because of the awful, awful glare. But let's see how this looks. There we go. I think this is better. We're going to put a ton in there. Maybe just enough to kind of stain the layer that's already on there. Doesn't look too bad. However, might be a bit too abrupt. I think we need to fade this in a bit more. All right, so does that look natural? Maybe. I mean, does it look like it's being lit? I'm not quite sure. But I think we're going to keep it. What do you guys think? Does it look natural, like it's being lit? Like some of that color is visible there? Or does it just look weird and out of place? So, in the meantime, I'm going to switch to this other brush. It's a big boy here. And we're going to work on this up here. I do want to cast some of that light up there as well, but I want to think on this. I get a ton of medium, so this is super, super thin. I should mask this off as well. Got this blue tape out, so I'll use this instead of my usual painter's tape. And if this takes off some of the paint, I'll just cry and end the stream and die. Raquel says, I see it. Are you going to put more? So I'm going to put more in different areas, but no more there. I do want it to be subtle. I think it's actually pretty visible in the camera. I'm actually more happy with it there than I am in person, strangely enough. So here I'm going to just kind of put some on. Need a ton of medium. Even this is not the best brush to put this on with, because it is also heated very well and super stiff. I might as well be using my finger. So I'm sure this is probably pretty visible, but we're going to take most of it off anyway. And then at that point, you probably won't be able to see it, like this lower section. Well, this is pretty drastic, because if you think about it, we're casting light literally a few inches away, and it's super subtle. So if that was the case in this lighting situation, that light would never make it over here, right? But I'm using creative license. I'm going to add a little bit of variation over here because I do want this to be pretty flat, solid white essentially, but a little variation goes a long way, I think. And because it's basically pure white, we're just gonna say that it's easily influenced by that little bit of salmon-ish color light. So let's have this covered. And now we're going to take all of it off. Essentially, we just want to stain the white that's there. Yeah, my mic being super weird. Hey, Pepper. I hear you. All right, so I'm going to treat this like a glaze. Go over it with the butt of my hand. With that, we're taking off any excess, thinning the application, evening it out a little bit. Essentially doing what we've been doing on this painting on these upper levels for weeks. But once it's relatively even, probably going to switch to paper towel and just scrub this in. And now it's probably invisible to you guys. However, it's not invisible in person. There we are. We have a subtle pink. She's talking to Pepper. Yeah, she's been very vocal lately. I don't know why. She's almost never meowed when she was younger. But now she's kind of uh, annoying in how much she likes to talk, mostly when I'm sleeping. Demonte, what's up? How are you? I am great. I hope you're having a good Tuesday. Hope you got some good work on the easel. I think I saw the last thing I saw was like a what do you call it? Uh, what was that show? The show with the portal thingy, Stargate. The last one I saw was a Stargate looking thing, and I saw you had put some environment behind it. It looked pretty awesome. I'm doing good. I'm now on YouTube now, no longer a Twitch streamer. Yesterday was my last Twitch stream, and not much else is different. I am finishing this today, however, so please don't take off. Oh no, this is on. I'm always surprised by how adhesive this blue tape is. But nothing got taken off, thank God. So I'm going to chuck that. Monty says, doing good, thanks. Yeah, that's done. Is it on Instagram? I'll have to check it out. And he asked for an edit of a previous commission. Stargate again. Cool. Also, it was a commission. Nice. There's a little bit of paint that underneath the blue tape, which I don't know how that happens. That shit's mega sticky. But there you go. It's all cleaned up. So now we're going to cast a little bit more light on these folds. And then we're signing it. And we're done. So let me get back here. You can see there's some subtle pink there. We're going to add some to this as well. And I think I'm just going to put it on, and then I'm going to kind of form it with my finger based on the edge of the arm that's blocking the light. So, God, this poor brush. So we are going to keep it relatively like an elliptical curve to the cast light. So we probably want it a little higher up here, a little more pronounced there. Just trying to envision a bit of a circle around this thing. Also, we have to keep in mind what parts are moving away from the light. So this, I'm pretty sure, is pretty much entirely blocked. Maybe we'll put a little bit up here. And then lift it off, and then I'm going to clean it up with some mineral spirits and a paper towel and really define that line at the bottom. Very exciting. What, the finishing, the painting, or this cast light? So this, I did not use the white. And I think that's what's making the difference here. I think it's making it way more interesting. So I might wipe off that top layer and just start with this brighter mixture. So this, I think, exactly what I didn't want to happen, happened. I think got a little carried away. I'm definitely gonna knock this back quite a bit. And some mineral spirits with a pretty crisp line on the bottom. So let's look at that. Okay. Cool. Very happy with that. All right, so same thing. Over here, we're just getting rid of all this. And we're dropping that white high value mixture we made and going right to the bright salmony red. Just need to get the excess mineral spirits off there. That looks pretty good. Finishing it after all the time working on it. Yeah, we're at 140 plus hours at this point. All right. Cool. All right, so now back to, so we're gonna redo this. Boy, this looks a little bit better. We may redo this as well. I'm gonna try this. I hope I don't ruin it. That is fine by me. It's enough there that if someone's looking for it, they're going to find it, but it doesn't slap you in the face. All right, so procrastinating, let's get to this. So I definitely have some right here. Here. I think we decided against this. Actually, I'm going to put it on the inside edge this time. And use brush strokes to suggest some subtle ripples. Don't want it to be super linear though. Okay. How wild would it be if I kept it like that? That really does look kind of crazy. As much as I would love to do that. To be fair, it looks way better on camera than it does in person. If it looked as good as it does on camera. There is something super interesting about making it that pronounced. But I can't bring myself to do it. But it does make me want to make these way more prominent. Nailing this might actually be a bit of a journey here. Let's see how it looks when we blend it in. Am I not showing this again? As always, the goal was to be inspired by David Sheafetz. And I'm pretty sure David Sheafetz would see what I just saw and think, dang, that's glowing. So, does not look bad, but I do think it needs a bit of definition. So I'm going to be going back in mineral spirits. First off, we're gonna chop off the bottom there. Bring that in a little bit. I don't know. It's looking a little flat, I think. Guess that's not right. Looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna kind of accentuate this, at least down toward the bottom. I want this to be more pronounced. While I chop back into it with some mineral spirits. Okay. Hey, I feel like the shape of the arm is a bit lost. Bring this down a little. And then, I don't know what the hell I'm running out of places on this paper towel to put mineral spirits. And then cut back into that. It's pretty good. May need a bit more of the wrist. I'm going to move the bracelet over a bit. There we go. So, might be a bit too pronounced now. Really, Pepper? 1 second. Pepper is... No, this is not. We always to play with. Oh, I have this brown paper that used to be on my walls with the names of my Twitch followers, and she decided it was her bed. So I had to sort that out quick. So, how do I feel about this? I think That's it for the cast light. What do you guys think? Is it too much? Not enough? See how it looks here. I think it's subtle enough that it looks natural. It may not be David Chefitz, like, holy crap, that thing's like dumpster fire bright. But I don't think, even though I wanted this inspired by David Chefitz, I don't think that is really what I'm. So I think we're all right there. I do think this one needs to kind of curl around there, rather than just being at one little piece. There we are. Okay, cool. We have a cast light. Now we need a cast shadow. I need to do some experimentation. I did this once already, and I think I even did it on stream, but I need to do it again. And this damn mic, I don't know what's going on. I think it's in between not too much or not too little, just right. It's good, great. That is good news. Now what's strange is it doesn't necessarily look like it's a highlight. Kind of just looks like, I think there probably should be a bit more white in it. But at the same time, when I did that, it didn't look, it just looked like a random highlight. It didn't look like it was colored at all. So I think we have to choose which one we want, because I mean, I just barely made it less white. So I don't think we're going to find more of a middle ground there. So this cast light, we're going to use my lamp over here as an example. I'm going to be this person here, and we're going to need an arm of a chair. So in this case, it's like this, and the light is over my left shoulder. So we're talking right here, pretty much perpendicular to the camera. So I need something to act as the arm of the chair. This isn't quite big enough, but I think we'll still be able to do this. I'm going to turn this lamp off. I'm going to have some terrible lighting for a second. I'm going to place this down slightly lower. I'm going to hold up my hand. And it's relatively even lit, although darker. But almost essentially entirely in shadow. Now if it's back here a little bit more, this side's lit up a little bit better. But no, it's like right there. Maybe the very back inside, right here, is going to be slightly brighter. So we're going to come across, it's going to fade to what's already there. We're going to make that slightly darker and sign it. We are done. So to make this darker, I'm going to make a slight purple. So typically I mix my ultramarine blue with my burnt umber, and that gets a slightly cool off black, if you will. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to work a little bit of my cool red into it. Holy crap. Could not pick up this tube of paint. And I'm going to work this cool red into it, and we're going to get a slight dark purple. And that is to match other areas where I used a dark purple as a shadow coat. We do. I gotta touch the microphone again. This is awful. I don't know what it is, but a year and a half of streaming, and I've never run into this before. All right, so adding this, and you know what? I already have some cool red on my palette, and I think it's going to be enough. Now I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this medium red I mixed. And let's see how this looks. If it looks bad, we'll do something else. So I'm going to use a slightly bigger brush. Again, we're going to be laying it down and lifting most of it off, making a thin layer, thin transparent layer. We still want everything to be visible underneath, but also thin in terms of mixture, not too thin. I think this is a nice little subtle purple. I think we're good there. So you can see that's a little crazy, right? But once we work this in, all of a sudden it's not nearly as crazy. However, I do think I have a bit too much medium in there for this to really turn out good. So we're going to make that the angle here. And then we're just going to lay this in. I'm going to be using my finger to get the edge nice, soft edge. Okay, so I need fresh paper towel. And hope to God this looks all right. So I think we're gonna go in with the butt of the hands to start. Take off as much as possible. Want that to kind of curve around with that edge. I'll clean this up with some mineral spirits. But now I just want to go right up to this edge. Now this here is still not dry. So I definitely need to not get any on. So I'm going to go in with my small brush. Make sure there's no unnatural light line between the leg and the chair. There we go. Also going to do the same on the top here. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to get a little aggressive lifting this off. You know what? I don't think I like this. So I think I might get rid of it entirely. And we're going to say that there's enough evenly lit light that it's not affecting this. Because yeah, just not feeling it. So I need a very clean paper towel. Why? Why am I not feeling it? To be honest, I just don't think it looks right. I don't think it looks very good. Maybe I've just been looking at this for too long. But I feel like it looks more correct like this than in shadow. And we also have to keep in mind the light that's coming in from the window, the light that's just going to diffuse. It's clearly a white room. So I think we're gonna keep it as is. So that means one last thing, and that is to sign it. And it's unfortunate that I have to use this, but I'm going to use some artist tape for this. If I can find mine. I swear I have a ton of it. Well, and I'm going to lay this in replacement. So my initial reaction is like right here. So, here's my Sharpie. We put this in. Right there. First off, you can hardly see it. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it too visible. But I need to think about this. So what lines do we have? We have this line coming up in here. That intersects with it. It kind of goes right in the middle, which isn't bad. We don't have any other two very important lines in here. We have this, but it's curved. We have the line of the arm, but that's coming way up here. So we could move this so that this line interacts with the side of it. That would put it up much higher. Maybe we would keep it where it is. We could lower it. I wish I could see that. I guess I'm just going to have to eyeball it. Which, to be honest, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking down here may be a better option. I do think down here is better. I just need to find the right spot. That looks pretty good. Let me make sure that this is horizontal. I'm just measuring the bottom of the tape. It's basically good. So to mix my paint, it's going to be a subtle off purple. You might actually just use this color I have and work some ultramarine blue into it. I'm going to probably use the same color as this, some ultramarine blue. I do want to desaturate this though, so I might add a little bit of yellow to it. Okay. I have the purple. With a little bit of yellow, we're going to go with warm, cool yellow. Cool yellow. I don't know how I'm going to close. I'd actually add more white to this. It's similar to what's down there. I think it'll match. I do think I want a teeny bit more white though. For me, I don't like my signature to be in your face. I want it to be there, visible for anyone who's looking at the painting. So finally retiring this bad boy. You've been a good brush until a couple months ago. Okay. All right, I need this to be super fluid. I'll be able to kind of write as normally as possible without having to go over parts again. So I'm going to have more medium than normal. Really load this thing up. Also, that's going to hold the bristles of the brush together a little bit better, so I'm not writing with a broom or a rake or whatever you want to, however you want to think of it. So I think once I get the N in there, we'll be all right. So. Should have just left it how it was. However, being super picky, I ended up making it worse than better. There we go. Let's make sure that lines up all right. Yeah, you can hardly see this, but can assure you it's happening. That's no buenos. We're just going to take this off. Fatten this up a little bit. And there we are. Just going to double check. This is horizontal. There's the A. There's the bottom of the N there. We have the bottom of the O. Not quite. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Pull that down a bit more. And we're going to pull the front part up a little bit by adding to the top. Oops. So that may or may not be better. Bottom of the N, bottom of the O. We're just gonna go with it. There we are. And now that'll probably drive me crazy and make me have to redo things. I'm going to lift it off. Because we went through all this trouble of making transparent layers. And if we don't do the same for the signature, kind of being a bit of a hypocrite. I feel like this is wildly not straight. It's really bothering me. I mean, it's really not bad. It's we are. You know what? I don't think I like the placement. After all of that. But I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to check back on it tomorrow and see if I like it more. And I don't know. I don't know. I may just do this. I think that's a little better. There's my, here it is. It is super subtle, but we're sticking to it. So we have a painting. I'm going to turn this camera off, get it out of the way, if I can. Ugh. Why is it so difficult to get this out of the way? There we go. There we have it. A finished painting. And it says, time to party. Indeed. Indeed. So I'm going to be looking at this a lot in the next, I don't know, 24 to 48 hours. And there may be changes. Maybe. But I will make sure that the final product ends up on Instagram. Where's the, must have thrown that one away. One last tweak to the signature. That is the I. So, in theory, it's straight. So there's not a whole lot else I can do. Kel asks, how do you feel? Accomplished. This is the first painting that I finished in a long time. I don't have a whole lot of time to work on paintings, so when they're done, it is a big accomplishment in my book. First thing that's going to happen as soon as this stream ends, this is off of my easel into some better light. I shouldn't say better light, but more natural light. I may have to wait till tomorrow when the sun comes up. Monte says, congrats. Thanks, Monte. Really appreciate it. Whew. It's kind of crazy. It's bittersweet. I also don't really want it to be done. This painting got me into streaming. If it wasn't for streaming, this would not be done. This chair would not have ever been completed. I just wouldn't have done it. Or I'd be working on it one tiny little bit at a time. So, cool. With that, I'm going to sign off. I will be back here on YouTube next Monday. Thanks for watching, as always. If you liked what you saw and you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell. You'll get notified every Monday and Tuesday at 6:30 when I go live. And I'll have this on Instagram, maybe in a little bit better setting to take a look at it. DeMonte says streaming helps you commit, I think. Yeah, definitely. That's the only reason why I stream. And apparently I haven't gone through puberty yet with that awful squeak. It wouldn't have happened, I can tell you right now. Because I've done some really painstakingly menial painting tasks, but nothing quite this big. So, whew. Take care, DeMonte. Everyone else in chat, have a good week. I will see you next Monday. Paint some stuff. Later.